Chief Justice Stanfield. In response to your little CTV news release there, you're right, for the most part the justices in BC are an awesome group. No doubt in my mind at all, sir. I've always said the problems with the failed judicial system in BC has very little to do with the justices. It has everything to do with what's going on before it ever hits the judicial system, that's for sure. However, sir, one thing in cleaning up street level we've sort of made a point of is not letting anyone engage in fraudful acts. And while I agree that the justices in BC are a good bunch, there still remains an issue within the judiciary of discrimination. As you are aware, on April 12, 2007, initial complaint was initialized with the United Nations in regards to autism and the treatment of people with neurological disorders, sir. You were named in that, as a matter of fact, and I'm just going to read the caption within that. Discrimination has an ugly face, and the Supreme Court has been wearing it for a while now, and while today's decision by the Ontario courts on autism clearly echo out that issue. What is funny is how through the dockets of time and history we seldom learn from the mistakes of past, as we've been here before. The courts have violated the very basics of human rights and dignity, but then again, I knew they would, as discrimination has an ugly face. And a year ago, I advised British Columbia Chief Justice Stanfield, your office, they would get called on it, and here we are. You don't belong on this bus, nigger, white restaurant only, nigger, and the court's decision echoes out not only discrimination, but the court's playing God and engaged in hate crimes and autistic children, their innocent victims. The courts have failed in mission to protect the children. The courts have failed in Canada and will clearly be at issue. You remember that, sir? Well, I happen to think that there is a substantial issue of discrimination within the provincial court. I also happen to think it's a direct result of the lack of training of the justices in the modern dynamics of neurology. And how can you be fair if you don't understand the basic mechanics? That's probably an obvious issue considering most of the prisons, the population, 50% of the population has mental disabilities. Seems to me there's a red flag there, sir. We have to get beyond this issue. Oh, if you bump in the head, you have no brain, you must be mad. Because the very essence of that issue is in direct violation of the United Nations Charter issues in regards to the rights of people with disabilities, sir. In regards to the rights to respect and dignity. And it seems to me the courts can't even uphold the UN Charter rights. And you're saying everything is all right in Mudsville. I don't think so. And I'm calling you in the UN on it, sir. The shooting of Paul Boyd is a good example of injustice. I have little issue an innocent man's dead now. Until such a time as we get over the discrimination issue, given discrimination is against the law, I can't see any legitimacy within the judicial system in British Columbia. Given the Attorney General's, ministries, interference, given the cover-up of crimes committed to children in state care, of crimes committed to Aboriginal children in state care, I can't see any legitimacy within the judicial system. So while we have a good group of justices, your effectiveness is in question, sir. And to sit in front of the press or anything else and say, oh well everything's great with the judiciary, would be kind of fraudulent issue. And I think you're called on it, sir. Good day.